Broadview Heights is one of those cities that I feel like is almost underappreciated for what it has to offer to its residents. It's centrally located, it's got great schools, it's very affordable. The city does a great job at keeping up with the looks of it. Me personally, I don't think you can go wrong with living here. Now, my name's Sam Oler and I'm a realtor in the greater Cleveland area, so if you're starting to think about moving over this way, I help a lot of people move here every single year. So whether you're looking in a few weeks or maybe a few months, maybe it's even a couple of years down the road, feel free to reach out to me and we can start to plan out your strategy for what it's going to take to get moved here and also what it takes to buy a home. Now you can find all my contact information down in the description. But back to today's video, which is going to be going over Broadview Heights. The city itself was founded in 1811 by Seth Payne, and he was a surveyor that was sent by Colonel John Breck. He became the first of his kind to settle in the area, and at the time, the land now part of Brecksville, Broadview Heights, and North Royalton was known as Brecksville Township, but Broadview Heights was incorporated as a village on December 17th, 1926. And in 1960, once it hit the right population, according to the statistics that were necessary, it actually became its own city called Broadview Heights. Now the city covers a total of 13 square miles, so it is a little bit smaller than some of the other suburbs that surround Cleveland, but it is still a decent size to where you have a lot of options available to you. As far as the housing market goes in Broadview Heights, the average price point is sitting right around $300,000, so it is very affordable to get into if you are working with a more average price point. You are going to have houses that are going to be cheaper and also ones that are more expensive. If you go for the homes that are under that average price point, you're probably going to land a smaller 1,000 to 1,500 square foot ranch style home, and those are probably going to be anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. If you start to get above the average price point, you're going to be getting a little bit better criteria for your homes, whether it be a bigger house or a newer home. You're going to find a lot of early 2000s builds at the $400,000 to $500,000 price point. And then there's also some townhomes that are going up at closer to that $500,000 price point, but those are brand new. As far as new builds go in Broadview Heights, there are some here and there, but there's not developments that are getting built because this area is so small. A lot of it has already been built up. As you start to push even higher than that $500,000 price point, you're going to be getting some houses that are not very common for the area, and they're going to either have some sort of land or size or mix of the both of them. Right now there's a 5,500 square foot house just under 3 acres sitting right at $1.3 million. So if you move to the city, you are going to have a lot of different opportunities as far as the different price points that you can go. And you're also going to find pretty much every single type of house that you might want. You're going to have single family homes, you're going to have condos, there's townhomes, you're going to have luxury. It's kind of a one-stop shop suburb. Now getting into Broadview Heights is a little bit competitive just due to the fact that it is so appealing to everyone. It's got something for pretty much anyone who is shopping for a home. So houses are going under contract right around list price in about 12 days. Hot homes, which are houses that are freshly renovated or perfectly livable, are going to be going about 3% above list price in 4 days. And the majority of people that are relocating here are from within Ohio. The ones that stand out most from different parts of the United States are going to include anywhere from New York, Wheeling, West Virginia, and Los Angeles, California being the top 3. Realistically, there aren't too many crazy climate factors that come along with living here. We get some pretty harsh winters and we get a decent amount of rain in the fall and spring, but those are going to be your main worries. Now with those fall and spring storms, you're going to mainly want to look out for trees that are on your property. If you aren't keeping up with the maintenance of the trees, you could have dead limbs falling onto your house. Even bigger limbs that are weak could fall as well. So you want to make sure that if there are trees on the property, that you are making sure there's no issues with the tree itself. Me personally, I like to make sure that no big branches are hanging over the tree. I'm not really one to suggest cutting them down, but if it is needed, definitely do it. It's better to play it safe than sorry, in my opinion. With this area being so close to the national park, you are going to have a lot more trees than some of the other suburbs in Cleveland, so that's something to keep in mind. And another thing to keep on the top of your head is that you are going to need a vehicle if you're living in this area. It's not very walkable at all. Maybe a little bit bikeable depending on where your house lands compared to some of the commercial areas. The commercial areas are not intertwined with the residential, so you might have a pretty long commute to get to a shopping plaza. And to be honest, if you're moving to one of the Cleveland suburbs, they're all going to be like that. They all have their own designated shopping areas and they all have their own designated residential areas. Sometimes you can land pretty close to being on the border of the two of them and have that quick access to where you could walk or ride your bike. but the majority of the times you're not. There is going to be some public transportation available, but it is nothing like if you were in a big city. So realistically, if you're moving here, you're going to want to have at least one car. Now, as far as the schooling goes, for what the city offers to the residents, it is a great opportunity for your students to go to. It is intertwined with Brecksville and Broadview Heights, just due to the fact that they're both pretty small suburbs, and they can couple together and have a decent sized school at that point. Now, Brecksville Broadview Heights is ranked number 488 in the nation, according to US News, and it is number 13 in Ohio schools. And with that comes a 97 scorecard for the preparedness of the students for moving on to post-education or being ready to join the workforce. If you have kids, that rank might play a huge factor in where you decide to move, and I don't think you can go wrong with coming here. Now, the school does offer a lot to its students. You're gonna have sports in the fall like cross country, football, soccer, golf, cheer, tennis, volleyball. In the winter, you're gonna have your regular sports like basketball, bowling, cheer, dance, gymnastics, hockey, swimming, wrestling. And come spring, you're gonna have things like baseball, softball, lacrosse, track, tennis. And it doesn't just stop there. If the students don't want to play sports, they have the opportunity to take part in a ton of different activities. The extracurricular that the school offers for the students can range anywhere from choir to drama, mock trial, pep band, robotics club, spike ball, trivia club. So no matter what the students' interests are, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to be able to find something that they like to be a part of after school time. And I know for me, when I was going through that time of my life, the soccer team was a big part of forming who I am today, just due to the fact that it showed me all of the different disciplines that I need as far as being punctual, making sure that I work my hardest. It just taught me such a good work ethic, and I'm super thankful for where I landed. It's always really interesting to me to start to go through these lists and see what the schools offer, because there's so much more nowadays than when I was in high school. As far as the jobs that are available in Broadview Heights, you're gonna find over 16,000 available jobs in a greater area, and those jobs can range all the way up to $115,000 depending on what you specialize in, and there's even more opportunity among that, but it might be a little less common to come across. Some of the bigger commercial companies that attribute to Broadview Heights are going to include Caterpillar, University Hospitals, Sotera Health, and on top of that, there's 700 plus other commercial companies that are within Broadview Heights. So you're gonna have a pretty good chance at getting a job within the city and not have to commute very far. Today, Broadview Heights is just sitting under 20,000 as far as the population goes. The majority of the people that work here are white collar workers, and the average household income is right around $137,000. And realistically, it's pretty evenly split between the people who decided not to pursue additional education after high school and people who went on to receive some sort of additional degrees. As far as the shopping opportunities that are here, you're going to have two main spots that you're probably going to go to within the city, and they're both located on Royalton Road. The first one is going to have a mix of retail, grocery, and restaurants. And there, if you're feeling some Italian food, it's worth stopping by Valenti's Italian. It's a good spot to grab dinner and walk outside in the parking lot and go grab some ice cream at Handel's afterwards. Now, me personally, Handel's is my favorite ice cream place. It's not a local brand. I've seen it in a few different parts of Ohio, but they have a delicious peanut butter cup hurricane, which is kind of like a blizzard from Dairy Queen. It seems like there's a million different flavors to choose from, so you're probably going to be able to find something you like. They even have some dairy-free options as well. The second shopping center is going to be pretty similar to the first one, where you're going to have Giant Eagle as your anchor for your grocery shopping. And I was actually driving by this Giant Eagle a few weeks ago, and I saw what looked like an older dude skateboarding. He was covered in tattoos, and he was trying something that most people in their 40s would not try. So I decided to stop and see who it was. And as I was parking, I was thinking in my head, I think I know who that might be. And to my surprise, it was Bam Margera. I never thought I'd run into him in Broadview Heights, skating in a Giant Eagle parking lot of all places. But I'm glad I did stop because he was really cool to meet. If you don't know who he is, he was an early 2000s pro skateboarder. He was a big part of shaping my love for skateboarding. I don't do it hardly as much as I used to, but I still get out there every now and again. It was kind of a full circle moment that was super cool to me, and it was just random how it happened within the last couple weeks. So I thought that was a neat fact to include in this video. If you want to stop at a pretty neat place, the Wild Eagle is also over there, and you have the ability to go in and sit down and eat dinner, Or if you wanted to, you have the ability to preload a card and get draft beers off of their wall. You can pour as much as you want. So if you just want to try a beer, you can do that. Or if you want to pour a full glass of it, you have the ability to do that as well. Now it also serves as an event center if you want to host a party there. I got married this past February and we ended up eloping. So I am actually having our wedding party there. That way all of our friends can come celebrate, and that way they didn't have to pay for a crazy plane ticket to get to Canada, which is where we went. Now as far as activities go in Broadview Heights, you can go to their website and actually see what they have there. But they have some different resources that allow you to pick and choose different things. But you're going to find different schedules on there, such as community events. You can see what's up at the community garden. There's a community theater. They've got golf courses. There's a historical and society museum, and they even host public educational events. And on top of that, this area is extremely close to some very gorgeous parts of Ohio. And that's going to be our national parks and our Metroparks. You'll find the Metroparks in Hinckley down to the south, and over to the east, you'll have the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. In either of these areas, you're going to find miles of hiking trails. They have walking paths as well. You'll find beautiful picnic areas, some amazing scenic views. And something that I found out within the last couple years was that bird watching is actually pretty incredible here. People travel from all over just to come and look at the different species of birds that we have available here. If you're into winter sports, you've got a short drive over to Boston Mills and Brandywine, which are our ski resorts here. I wouldn't say they're resorts. They're more larger hills, but it suffices if you can't make the 2 to 3 hour trip out to New York or work your way up into Michigan or even further south. It's a great way to still get outside during the winter, but not have to travel to do so. If none of that floats your boat, you have quick access to 77, which leads north and south. So you can work your way up into Cleveland within less than 25 minutes. It's a pretty easy drive to make, and downtown there's just so much to do, whether it be concerts, comedy shows, restaurants, clubs. We've got the casino. No matter what your interests are, you're going to be able to find something that you like to do around there. So overall, I think Broadview Heights is an amazing place for someone to live. It's got a great community. It's very affordable. It's close to downtown, but you don't have to deal with all of that hustle and bustle that comes along with it. You can come home and have a nice quiet place to sleep. So if you're starting to think about moving this way, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information is down in the description. And if you find yourself down there, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to keep up with everything that is related to real estate in Cleveland, because this channel is the spot where you're going to go to stay the most updated. Now, with all that being said, I'm gonna leave the video there. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.